In this lesson, I'm going to teach you a scale that's a little bit more fun, maybe, than all the modes that you've now practiced everywhere on the neck and you're totally familiar with. This one is called the pentatonic scale, and you might have heard this before, but it's used a lot in blues playing. And it's called a pentatonic scale because it only has 5 notes, whereas normal scales have 7 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an octave. The pentatonic has 5 notes and an octave. And there are really 2 different pentatonic scales, the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. I'm going to show you the minor pentatonic in this lesson because it forms the basis for a huge amount of rock and roll, blues, soul tunes, a lot of music, guitar-based music especially, is based around the pentatonic scale. So to begin with, the pentatonic scale, the minor pentatonic scale, uses the minor scale as its basis. So let's start on A here and play a minor scale first. So 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. Which you should know since you've practiced all the modes everywhere. This should be easy, right? Okay, so what we're going to get rid of to make the pentatonic scales, we're going to get rid of the 2nd degree and the 6th degree. And what we're left is 1, 3. When I say, the numbers I'm using here are the degrees of the scale. The 1st, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 7th, and the octave. So for minor pentatonic, that's 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. Now this might sort of start to sound a little familiar if in rock and roll music we use the pentatonic scale all the time for soloing, for riffs and chords and things. Stuff like that. And the pentatonic is so easy to form since most of it is just using a few fingers. It's not as involved as the other scales. Now, since we're only looking at one scale, I'm going to expand on it a little bit to show you the pattern so you can move around with it a little bit more. So if we go 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, and we wanted to continue on with the scale, we can go 1, 3 again with our fingers. So basically we form this little box up here on these 3 strings. And then the bottom string has the different interval. So that's what makes it really easy to play riffs on. And this is something you can play around with for hours and hours and hours on end, is pentatonic licks. If we continue the scale down just a little bit, I'm going down a step here, it expands it a little bit more. And the way, this note here, the 3rd degree of the scale, is also able to be played here. So let me show you what this gives you. It gives you this box pattern. We have a box here. And then we have another box up here. So now, using this box pattern, you have a lot of licks that you can do. Stuff like that. It really forms the basis for a lot of rock, a lot of blues, a lot of soul tunes. So what I want you to do is practice the pentatonic scale all over the place and try to use that box pattern where you slide down 2 frets to get the extra box beneath the root of the note. And for now, just stick with the E string and play pentatonic scales starting with different notes on the E string. So like that was an A pentatonic scale. Now let's move it up to C. So we go A, up 3 steps to C. Now we can do riffs in C. And here's how you would form that. So if we start on a C like this with our third finger, the note below C is B flat, it's part of the pentatonic scale. B flat C, E flat F. Then we slide up 2 frets for the G, the B flat, the C, the E flat again, and the F. There's our box pattern. And you can play that anywhere. So this is a really fun scale to play because it's really kind of hard to go wrong. You got 5 notes, you can kind of mess around all over the place and come up with interesting riffs. It's not terribly complicated to play, and it, because of that symmetrical box pattern and the use of the first and the third fingers, it makes it easy to do faster, more intricate riffs. Where you can sort of flick around with your finger, and you're always going to land on a pretty good note because there's none of these in-between notes in the scale. It's pentatonic. So I just want you to practice pentatonic scales on every fret of the E string. Just go all the way up and down. Learn how to do it everywhere. Even, you know, on a low note like an F, you're not going to be able to use the box pattern beneath it, but you can still play pentatonic. And you can even do it with open strings. You can play a lot of blues riffs with this. And we'll bring you some musical exercises where you can play with the band doing pentatonic riffs and give you a chance to solo on some stuff and write some cool bass lines.